Everything is damp. Why am I like this? What is up, guys? Welcome back. Serving a little bit of Caitlin Collins realness today. So, you might be confused by the title. I'm calling this video One Final Empties. And final sounds final, doesn't it? I'm gonna be going through a handful of things that I have emptied out. There really aren't that many. It hasn't been that long since I've done an empties video. And the entire reason for working so hard to empty these out is because we're moving. In fact, by the time you're seeing this, we've moved. This will be the last video on my channel with this here backdrop, so pour one out for the cute backdrop. It's lopsided again today, I think. I'm not sure. I'm always just like toying with it in post to make sure that it's at least somewhat balanced looking. Either way, I have no idea what my new filming situation is going to look like, but let's go ahead and jump into some empties and I will chit chat about everything that is changing in my life. So the first thing here is the Rind Concentrate Body Balm. You guys know that, uh-oh, I'm wet. Why am I wet? Oh, the laundry that I'm going to have to do after this video. Also, don't adjust your televisions. My face is completely pink and it's because I just filmed the Rare Beauty review right before this and it just went sideways so many times that I have like pink all in my hairline now and I don't feel like washing my face right now. So you will hopefully just bear with me and maybe I'll be able to fix it in post just like everything else. Anyway, this was a big famous thing on my channel for a second because I talked about how, oh my gosh, so exorbitant, I'm gonna treat myself to this $90 bottle of lotion. Turns out it's like 70% more, 170% as much product for the money as the OC body balm that I bought two of. That I was burning through during pregnancy, and I like this a lot better. And I have plenty of other moisturizers that I need to work my way through, but I wanted to make sure that I finished this one. You know, it was my favorite, and so going ahead and getting rid of this one so that I don't have to take it with us. I have definitely heard of people taking their empties with them, and I just knew that my husband would make fun of me if I did that. So this is the Orbe Dry Texturizing Spray. Another empty, sad, but I will definitely be repurchasing that. I think that I'll be repurchasing the Aesop one too. This is something called TheraTree soap. I thought that this would help with my KP when I was pregnant. It did not, and it's chock full of essential oils and I don't like it, and so I will not be repurchasing that. Oh, that's what's wet. Oh, it's not just wet. It's conditioner. Okay, well, where's the, All right, well, that's what happens when you work your way through the end of a conditioner. Oh God, laundry much? This is going really well. So, Function of Beauty. I still use Function of Beauty. I have so much of it. I have so much of it backed up because you just forget when it's gonna get delivered or you wanna try something new and they end up just like, I have like 4 bottles of it that I still need to finish, but I really liked the new Milkshake Shea. It's a pun that only really manifests when you're looking at it, but it's the milkshake scent and it smells like vanilla. I was waiting for them to come out with a vanilla scent, and so I powered through this one. This is the conditioner, and I really liked it. I'm gonna continue using Function of Beauty among the other things that I use as well. I'm still working my way through a shampoo and conditioner from Living Proof. That is the least memorable brand name ever. But anyway, they kind of balance each other out because the Living Proof's a little bit heavy and this is a little bit drying, and so I just kind of flip-flop between the two. I have never found still a really perfect solution for my hair, but I can still kind of keep tweaking my formula with Function of Beauty. Plus they put out a body wash and a lotion, a body lotion that I'm really enjoying, and also they've come out with skincare, which I'm not going to try, but they did. This is, now everything's covered in conditioner. That's fantastic. So this is an empty of the Flamingo Foaming Shave Gel. I'm obsessed with this and I will definitely be repurchasing it. Everything is damp. Why am I like this? I have an empty of a sample of Milk Rose that I just had lying around. They had sent me from Voluspa with one of my orders. I have a very greasy tube of empty brown boy brow and another brow pencil from Thrive Cosmetics. Obviously, I've already repurchased both of these and a very large size of this is burning in the background right now. So these are all favy faves. And I think I'm just going to go incinerate this entire bag because it is now cursed. So, quickest empties ever, and again, basically just a placeholder to share with you guys what's been going on with us. So, little story time here. Oh boy, I guess it was around Christmas time. It was around Christmas time. It was a couple of weeks before Christmas. Mike and I had been very seriously thinking about leaving Austin, and that I think is a lot of the sentiment that people have right now, having spent a year at home. They're all like, well, if I'm gonna spend another year in my house, maybe it's time to prioritize how much I enjoy being in said house. And so the moving market, the housing market is just popping off in a lot of places that are more remote. People are able to work remotely a little bit more now with their companies not asking people to come back into the offices in a lot of cases. And so that has freed people up, and I think it's actually really good for like the economy and everything to not have people obligated to live in really, really expensive cities in order to still make money that would support the cost of living in a really big city. So it almost like spreads the wealth out in the country. I have no idea if that's true, but we might like years from now be able to look back and see that like this phenomenon helped to revive like some of the small towns in America. Granted, most of it is people who have a lot of money to throw around, and that's not me, I'm not talking about that, but like the people who bought our house paid cash, like what? What? That is not a world I belong to. But my point is, it is a popping market, and we were not the only people who had moving on the brain. We were looking at North Carolina. And that is because it's kind of halfway between where my husband's family lives and where my family lives. My family's in Florida, his family is in New Jersey. And we had been wanting to be within like driving distance of both of them, / we drove, like took a really long road trip out to Asheville 2 Thanksgivings ago. And we went through Asheville, we went to the Biltmore and everything. And I just wanted to show him my part of the country. Mike really loves mountains and he loves cold weather and everything. And of course, Florida doesn't really have either of those things. But he's very used to the Rockies, and I was like, I want to show you the beauty of the Appalachian Mountains. And so that was what I did. And he fell in love with it also, and so that was where we were looking. Well, we talked to some realtors out there, and actually traveling out to anywhere in order to actually see a house has been really, really prohibitive because you don't want to get on a plane unless you absolutely have to right now. And so we spent a lot of time talking to realtors, and we didn't really have anybody out there. I have a few friends, and actually our across the street neighbors moved out there pretty recently, but like it just never got to that point because we never found a house that we were truly in love with. There's a neighborhood in Asheville that we were really like eager to try and find something in. Sorry, my face itches. Because we had walked around that neighborhood when we were visiting and we were like, yes, this is it. And when we actually looked at the houses, they were all such historical homes. Like they wanted exorbitant amounts of money, more than $500,000 for a house that didn't have air conditioning, for example, and a lot of them didn't have air conditioning. A lot of them had really old insulation, and you were just supposed to like buy into the charm of it. And I was like, I'm sorry, like these are on postage stamp size lots. There are no garages. I want room. If I'm gonna move someplace that's gonna be like woodsy and stuff, I want to walk out my door and not hear my neighbors kind of thing. And we just couldn't seem to find something that met all of our needs. And we were willing to compromise. Like we really had in mind like the fact that we probably weren't going to find every single thing that we wanted in one house. Like I wanted space, he wanted walkability to the downtown area, kind of, you know what I mean? It's just, there are a lot of things that tend to fly in the face of one another, and also like cost, like since the housing market is so lively right now, everything's coming in at higher than the appraised value of most of these houses. And so we just, how you can feel that the universe is telling you not to do something. Like that was how we felt about Asheville. And we looked in like Raleigh, Durham and stuff like that because they have the Research Triangle. And we were just kind of exploring our options, and all of it just kept coming back no, like resounding no. And then Mike and I take these long walks when it's nice outside here with the dog and with the baby in a stroller, and that's a really good time for us to collect ourselves, kind of check in and everything, and have these nice long chats. And I said something about wanting to go to, if everything's back open again by this August, I definitely want to go to the US Open again. We've been thrice, I want to say, and we did not get to go this year and this past year, obviously, and we definitely want to go again. And I was like, would we take Simon? And Mike goes, my mother would probably, like, you know, leap at the opportunity to babysit Simon during that period of time. Like, that would just be, you know, her dream, and that's win-win. And I was like, that's kind of win-win all the time, isn't it? Like, she would want to be as much a part of his life as we were able to let her, if we were close enough for her to do that, because she just retired recently. So both of his parents are retired. And then I said, well, you know, I've always really loved it up there where your parents live. You know, it's a very charming part of the country. There's like apple picking and hay rides in the fall, and it's like a bucolic, snowy, you know, landscape in the winter, and they have very temperate springs and summers, and it's close to a lot of cool stuff, you know, close to Philadelphia, close to New York City. I mean, you could argue close to, I don't know, Vermont. I have no idea. I don't understand how geography works, but it's closer than we are right now. And it always surprised me how like comfortable I felt up there. And so I was like, well, you know, we could look for houses near your parents. And giving him just that little tiny push was incredible, because that afternoon, fam, remember what I said about the universe telling you no about something, and then just reverse that, because there's also a corresponding feeling of the wind at your back from the standpoint of the universe as well. So bear that in mind. So unbeknownst to me, Mike went house hunting, and that was always the thing that held me back from wanting to live up there, was that every time I looked at a house, it was kind of similar to Asheville, the way that it was just like really old and looked like it needed to be completely gutted, and like, you know, replace the kitchen and like pull down old wallpaper and like refinish the basement and stuff like that. Like, it was always just so old that the prices were never justified in my mind, and still nothing seemed to have what I wanted. It didn't have like the aesthetic that I wanted, it didn't have enough room, and it didn't have like, I don't know, like the insulation, like the updates that I wanted, because we've been living in a brand new house for the last 3 years with 14 inches of insulation and very, very low power bills as a result. And it was just like, we really thought that we weren't gonna be able to get everything that we wanted. And so the way that Mike and I tend to communicate about these things is that I'll just be somewhere in the house and he'll be somewhere else in the house, and I'll get a text message that's like a link to look at a house or whatever. And he sent me a link to a house, and it was literally that afternoon. And this house, as I opened it and scrolled through, I was like, wow, wow. Wow, it had the right amount of updates. It's kind of like a Cape Cod style that will lend itself really nicely to like Cape Cod modern, which is what it would be when we move our furniture in there. It has all of the little dumb things that I've always wanted. I shouldn't say they're dumb because I want them, but like, I always wanted a staircase that I could wrap garland around for the holidays. I always wanted a porch that I could put pumpkins on. I always wanted, I don't know, like a back porch that I could put a really nice dining area in, and we can eat outside in the summer and things like that. And I looked at this place, you guys, and it just got better every single time I scrolled. It has multiple fireplaces. It has a pool. It has acreage, okay? And it was a little bit outside of our price range, but with the amount our house had appreciated, we were shocked by what we could actually afford because of the equity in our current home versus what we had paid for it, and we had refinanced right at the beginning of COVID. Again, like the universe was kind of telling us this is going to work, we're gonna make sure that it works. So differently than the North Carolina situation, Mike's parents were right there on the ground, and they could go and drive out there. It's a little bit of a trek, but they drove out there, and there was an open house that afternoon. His dad went and took a whole bunch of pictures. There's like, it has everything. It's so utterly beautiful. And he sends us all these pictures, and it is just so perfect. We put an offer in that day, and we found out about 4 days later that, after a lot of agonizing, that we had won the offer by $1,000. We came in $1,000 over the other like 5 offers on this house, and it just sounded meant to be. And so we went through all the inspections and everything. We still, guys, in the age of craziness, have not been to this house. I know. you can go ahead and tell me I'm a lunatic in the comments. You can. But Mike's parents, who have our best interest at heart, have gone and checked the house out multiple times. They went for the inspection. They, you know, poked and prodded and got the list of everything they needed to get done and all this stuff. And they are just so excited to have us back closer by. And it's going to give us so much more. Well, first of all, you know, like, it takes a village. That's where our village is. My family is in Florida, and as much as I would love to be really close to my family, I don't want to be in Florida. Mike doesn't want to be in Florida. We are sick of the heat, fam. We have been in Austin for 12 years and we are really tired of the summers here, especially last summer when I was pregnant. I was like, I'm never doing this again, Mike. And he was like, I hear you. It's miserable. It's so hot here in the summer that there are just entire months where you just don't go outside during daylight hours. It's just not okay. And I'm just ready. I'm ready to just try braving something new. I'm ready for winter fashion. I'm ready for layering. I'm ready to look ugly all bundled up and everything, and, you know, take my kid out in the snow. And I'm just ready for a new challenge in that sense, because obviously I would love for it to be 65 degrees all day every day. That would be ideal for me, but nothing is really like that unless I, you know, move out to like La Jolla. But regardless, it is exactly what we're looking for right now in terms of our kind of like, you know, family forever home and location. And Mike's mother is just, as you can imagine, so over the moon excited that we are going to be within driving distance for her, because she's probably going to want to come to our house like multiple days a week and help us take care of Simon during the day, which is gonna really free my schedule up. But also, I think the hardest part about being with him all day is not being with him, it's that I want to share him. Being with him by myself, it's always just like, oh, I feel like all I want to do is just take pictures of him and send them to everybody, because there's no one there to just sit there and marvel at how cute he is with me. And now I'm gonna have his mom there to marvel at how cute he is with me. So a couple of things you might be wondering. First of all, how am I getting there, or how are we getting there? I have a 4-month-old, and this is something that I didn't want to introduce before it happened, because I genuinely am like dreading it, and I don't want to catch flack until it's already done with. And by the time this video goes up, it will already be done with. And that is that we are flying. I used so many points so many airline points, because, you know, we're not traveling and we haven't been traveling, and a lot of people have vouchers and stuff like that, but at least in my case, I just spend everything for my channel goes on a credit card that's associated with like a mileage plan or a mileage benefits situation. And I mean, I have just racked them up, and so I used a whole lot of points, and I bought 2 first-class tickets, one for me, one for Simon in his car seat, to fly so that we're at the very front of the plane. We will be the last ones on, the first ones off, and we're going to take all of the precautions and everything. And it's a non-stop flight from here to where we're moving. And then, you know, Mike's parents can pick us up, or pick, yeah, me and Simon up at the airport, burn our clothes, I don't know. Regardless, we will be in good hands at that point. And Mike is driving with the dog and both of the cats. It's just what he's doing, and we all agreed that it was best for me to fly and him to drive. And I am selling my car here because my car is just not made for the snow. It's a little like, you know, hybrid hatchback, and I've had it for 10 years. It's just ready. I'm ready to let it go. It's time. And so that is the plan. We're just gonna basically stick to one car for now, because there has not been a time in the last year, we don't anticipate another one anytime soon, especially since we're going to be living in a place where you can get around by train, that either of us would ever need to leave the house separately at the same time. It's just not going to be a thing. So I'm just gonna get put on his insurance. His car is like 3 years old and it's 4-wheel drive, and it's gonna be fine. And I am just so over the moon excited, not just to have our dream home, obviously, and to be in like a new adventure, but also to feel settled. This has always been voiced to me as our starter home, and I love this house. I bought this house with my own money. I bought this house, and I've always been really proud of it. And I would have been almost just as happy if we had never found like the perfect house to just keep putting money into it, put wood floors in it or something like that, or like build a deck on the back even though there's not that much room. I'm not saying that it's making us miserable, but having more space is going to be fantastic, and I think that we are in that point in our lives where we just want a little bit more space. And I'm just anticipating a new rhythm to my life that involves a lot more family. Mike has cousins with children up there, and everybody is really, really close-knit, and it's just a really like loving kind of, you know, family community. And I mean, I have that back home with my family too, but there are no kids in we are the only ones with a baby in my family on my side, and so it's nice to kind of have that on his side. And it's also a pretty inexpensive flight from where my mom is. So as soon as everybody gets vaccinated, you know, everybody's gonna come visit. There's plenty of room, and we are really, really excited about it. But yeah, that is the current situation. And so as you are watching this, we have already moved in, I want to say. We have at least closed on the house and are probably in the process of beginning to move our stuff in. So if after this video there is a small break, I batch filmed. I batch filmed way ahead. And so, you know, this is being filmed again, like, you know, 2 weeks probably before you're seeing it. If I miss a video this week after this video, that's why, is just because I have no idea how long it's gonna take to get everything unpacked and set up, and I might just need like a brain break. So I hope that that's okay with you guys, and I hope that you are excited to see the next chapter in our lives. I hope that you are excited to I hope that maybe it'll free up a little bit of time so that I can vlog a little bit more. I have dreams of like a full English garden. I'm going to be redoing the kitchen. There are going to be very vlog-worthy things. It is my Ina Garden dream home, okay? So my friend called it fulfilling the prophecy. Because I'm so obsessed with Ina Garden. She goes, "You're fulfilling the prophecy." I'm obsessed with that. But either way, yes, there are going to be plenty of things worth chronicling, and hopefully a little bit more time, bandwidth, flexibility to be doing them in. So yeah, thanks for following me on my journey. I hope you guys are excited. And you know, if you thought this was a fun video, I don't know, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, guys, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today and always, and I will see you guys in the next iteration, and it is probably only going to be a few days. Bye.